Hello, my name is Heather, and I'm doing these videos as a way to keep myself accountable during school. I am currently finishing my prerequisites before going into a respiratory therapy program. I'm not technically in the program at this point because they do not have the applications out for this year. The applications have to be turned in February, by February 1st, and we're supposed to be notified, I think, by May. I don't anticipate any issues. I have been in contact with the program director about my prerequisites and making sure that I'm on track and all of that. I have excellent grades. I'm not in a sort of program that's competitive in the way that we have to do interviews and entrance tests and things like that. We have prerequisites we have to accomplish. We have to get a certain grade point average, and we have to submit an application. They do only accept a certain number of students depending on what the job market is in the field currently and other factors like that. So it's, if more students apply than they're willing to accept, then I wouldn't get in. But I currently have a 4.0 grade point average for all of my prerequisites. I don't anticipate any issues. So I may not do these videos super frequently until I'm actually in the program, just because I'm not sure how much you all will want to see and how much accountability I'm going to need until the program actually starts. So I am taking Anatomy and Physiology 2 this semester, and also Cardiopulmonary Science. If I look down, it's because I have some notes written. Last semester, I took Anatomy and Physiology 1 and Introduction to Respiratory Therapy. Introduction to Respiratory Therapy was very easy. Anatomy and Physiology 1 did require studying and did require work, but I didn't have any issues with doing that. I don't anticipate any issues with getting my work done this semester, but you never know what life can throw at you. So as you can see, I am not your typical student going into a new profession in my 20s. I am 41. I thought that I had my life all set and my career was what I wanted it to be. And then my marriage ended, and I found myself in the position of having to do something else with my life. So previous to this, I was doing farming for the last over a decade or so. And I am not in a position to be able to do the physical labor part of farming alone. So therefore, that's why I started looking for something else to do. I looked into nursing. I looked into being an ultrasound tech. I looked into radiology tech, and I just wasn't super thrilled with any of those options. And while I was doing research for those things, I came across respiratory therapy, which frankly I should have thought of before. One of my children was frequently hospitalized when he was a baby and had to have a lot of breathing treatments, had to have nebulizer treatments at home, had pneumonia multiple times. We saw a lot of respiratory therapists while he was in the hospital, but that was a long time ago now, so it hadn't occurred to me. But when I found that that was something that I could do within the limited time that I had in order to do retraining, because as anyone who's my age knows, you start thinking about things like, what am I going to do for retirement? Am I going to be in a position to be able to retire ever? When you all of a sudden don't have the financial stability that you did for so long, it can be a real challenge to figure out what to do with the rest of your life. Especially for someone who, like me, who's having to completely change gears. What I was doing before is not something that I can continue as a single individual. And my education background is that I did start college when I was 17. I went to Northern Arizona University, and I dropped out when I was in my sophomore year. I was not clear on what I wanted to do with my life at the time. And when you don't have the motivation of a clearly defined plan that you're excited about, it is really difficult to do the work. I have seen that in some of the classes that I've taken so far with fellow students who just really are kind of struggling with what to do with their life. And I get that. That is really difficult to try and dedicate time to classes that are hard when you're not really invested. But as it stands now, I'm highly motivated. I intend to make this work. I'm very excited about the career field itself. I think that is something that I will enjoy, that I will excel at, and that's where I am right now. So I think I will probably try to do videos. At first, I'm probably only going to do videos maybe once a month, or if something specific comes up that I feel would help me to make a video for, that I can look back later on to motivate me to continue. But because I'm not actually in my program yet, I'm not sure how much there will be that other people might be interested in between now and when my program starts in the fall of 2019. So we'll see how this goes. If you find this interesting, especially if you are an older student like myself who is maybe starting over, I would love to hear how things are going for you. If you started respiratory therapy as an older student, I would love to hear how things have gone for you if you're already working in the field. And for anyone else who is maybe just interested in respiratory therapy or is maybe starting school, please feel free to share any tips that you have for me, anything that you have learned about respiratory therapy or anything that you've learned going through school that is helpful to you. I'd love to hear any of it. So again, I'm just kind of doing these as a way to keep myself accountable, and because when I went looking for videos, I didn't see people like me. I didn't see older students who are starting over in life and who are, I mean, let's face it, when you get to be my age, the idea of pulling all-nighters to study and having to work around kids' schedules and money issues where you just don't have savings to fall back on, or you're concerned about health insurance and taxes and all of the things that when I was 17 and in college the first time, I did not think about at all, because I didn't have to worry about any of those things. I completely took that stuff for granted. So I'm interested in hearing anyone's experiences who wants to share, and I'll keep doing these videos. If people want to watch them, then great, follow along with me. I will try to keep doing them all the way through respiratory therapy school, and hopefully until I have an actual job. And if there are things that you would like to ask or tell me, that would be great. And I will see you next time.